Welcome to the Hitched Podcast. I'm Zoe, editor of Hitched.
And I'm Lydia, assistant editor.
So what have we got on the agenda today?
So today we're going to be touching on quite a controversial topic, bar tabs and budget battles. But before we get stuck in with some of our listener dilemmas, we're going to do a game of Hitched or Ditched. Zoe, you know the rules. I'll be giving you some situations and you tell me whether you think they should be hitched or ditched. Okay, so the first one is cash bar.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say hitched, right? This is, if you're an American watching this, you're going to be like, what on earth, I think. It is quite an American tradition to have a free bar. And I do think we are seeing more of that now, even if it's not for the whole evening. Yeah. But I will say there is a time and a place for a cash bar. And there is an expectation of it because that's how we've always done it. So I don't think if it's outside of your budget, you should feel pressured into doing a free bar. You know, it's okay. It's still okay to have a cash bar.
The next one is asking for honeymoon contributions.
Okay, hitched. I think this is all right. This is acceptable. There are lots of different ways to do this, and actually there's some really great gift lists. We actually have a whole page of wonderful gift list providers on Hitched where you can browse and choose gift lists that are a bit sneaky because some people feel funny about giving cash, and these gift lists are really clever because you can make it look like you're buying things, right? So yes. Friends of mine have had them in the past where I've bought them wine tasting on the beach. Whether they've done that wine tasting on the beach or not, it's none of my business. But the money, it's made me feel like I've bought something. They've had the option to do that if they want to, or they can use the money to do something else instead. And I think that's okay. And I think at the end of the day, it's your wedding. You're an adult. Quite likely you've already got all your toasters and your tea towels and everything you could ever need. But you may not feel comfortable asking straight up for money. So it's a nice like middleman. And actually once you've spent all that money on a wedding, sometimes it's quite hard to then find the cash for a honeymoon too. So it can be really helpful.
Now, what about bank details on wedding invites?
Oh, ditched.
Why.
Right, yeah. I like to think I'm quite progressive about weddings. I'm quite open, I'm quite forward thinking, but this one is where I draw the line. I think it's too barefaced. I think like the honeymoon fund, absolutely fine. You can get some as well that are like house funds where you buy like bricks towards a new house. That's also fine. Make it cute, make it sweet. I'm into it. Present me with your bank details and I feel a bit unwell. I don't know. It just becomes transactional. I don't like it. It's too much, even for me. It's too much. I mean, you may as well just have like a Venmo QR code or something. I don't know. I don't even like, no, it's ditched. I don't want you to do that.
Be more discreet, very British.
Yes. Yeah. You can put a link to your wedding website. That's fine. And then you can have like gift list details on there and say that you'd prefer cash. That's fine. But I don't know. Don't do it. It's too much. You've left me speechless. I don't like it as a concept. No, move on.
Next up, we have our listener dilemmas. And one listener wants to know if they should do a free bar for their 100 guests.
Oh, okay. Topical, bars and budgets. I see where we're going. Right. I do like a free bar.
Don't we all, Zoe?
Yeah, I like a drink. I like a little glass of wine. But it can get messy. I do think, though, from most people I've heard who've had free bars, people do tend to be more moderate than you'd think. And I know of a wedding that one of our colleagues recently attended where they didn't actually put wine on the tables. Because honestly, right, most of the time when you're having a meal at a wedding, right, it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, that's not the time I should be drinking wine. Or quite a lot of people.
But you will.
If it is there, I absolutely will. But I shouldn't, okay? I shouldn't. And you probably shouldn't either. But it's there and we drink it. And if you drink wine at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, what happens? You get sleepy.
Yeah.
You get emotional. You get sick. So by removing wine from the tables, but putting the money behind the bar instead, so people can go and get the drinks they want to get, people drink less. They're not getting quite as drunk in the middle of the afternoon. And they're drinking what they actually want to drink, which may not be an alcoholic drink at that point. I don't know, probably people are going to think, well, you don't have to drink the wine, but I do.
It's nice to have an option. And you might not even like wine. You might want another.
Yeah, you might not like wine. At my sister's wedding, they had pitchers of beer on the table, which was very them. And I don't really drink beer. So I was more sober at that wedding than I usually am by that point in the day. And it's not all about me, I know, but I'm coming from my area of experience. I do think if you can afford to do it, it's a nice thing to do. Maybe skip the favors, put the money into drinks tokens, skip the wine on the table, put some money behind the bar. You don't have to pay for it all night. You can do it for an hour or two. It's a nice thing to do if you can afford it.
So the next dilemma is how to discuss money with your family. And I guess this kind of links into if someone's parents is trying to get them to invite someone, family friend, to the wedding.
Oh,
what's your advice?
Money with strings attached.
Money with strings attached.
So there's a couple of different things at play here when it comes to family and money. And sometimes it's that you've expected money and it hasn't been forthcoming, which can be quite awkward. But you know what? You're grown up. And sometimes you have to pay for your own wedding. The other is if people offer you money, but then expect a say on how it's spent, right? And this happens a lot. You get your parents say, we're going to give you £10,000, but you have to invite your dad's boss and his golfing buddies, and you have to invite Sandra from the knitting club, and she's going to bring Colin. Everywhere Sandra goes, Colin goes. So I think it's really important to, again, we've got to communicate. Like, I feel like I say this all the time because I do. If somebody is offering you money for the wedding, you can say, this is really lovely and we'd really like to spend it on this. Even if it's not true. Oh, this is wonderful. We can put this towards the acrobats. Straight away, you've set the expectation that they're not going to have a say in it. And if they come back and say, oh, we were really hoping you could use it to invite Sandra and Colin, then you might want to say, look, I'm really sorry. Love them. Lovely people. Don't want them at my wedding. Haven't seen them since I was 10, whatever. I would really rather use it on this. And then they might say, we don't want to give it to them, but that's their prerogative because it's their money and it's your prerogative to have the wedding that you want. So sometimes you have to manage those expectations. You might have to not accept the money, or you might have to suck it up, have Sandra and Colin and only have half the acrobats.
Finally, what costs do couples commonly forget to budget for?
Okay, so there are quite a few costs that couples forget. We have a whole article on this on Hitched that will have the full extensive list. I don't think I can go through it all right now, but there are really little things that mount up. For example, when you're buying your wedding stationery, people often forget that they'll need to post it, and stamps cost money. Another thing that people do, which isn't a cost they forget, but it's one they overspend on, where they think, I've got 70 guests, I need 70 invites. You don't usually, because you will have like people who are couples who only get one invitation, or families and stuff. So think about how many couples or families you're inviting before you order your invitations, and remember that everyone will come with the cost of a stamp. That's a big one. Another thing that people forget to budget for, really common, alterations. Your outfit alterations. And if you're having a wedding party, sometimes they might need outfit alterations, and you need to decide whether you're going to fund that or if they're going to fund that. And if they are going to fund that, you need to let them know ahead of time. And also, even like dress shopping appointments, they often come with a fee because, you know, a lot of shops are harmed when people don't come to the appointments. Course, so they will charge a deposit to hold the space. And usually it's redeemable off whatever you purchase on the day. That's fine. But yeah, remember to factor in little things like that because they creep in. And you might be really excited and you might want to go to 10 different bridal shops, but that's going to cost you an extra like 250 quid potentially. Like, think about these things before you start going crazy with your planning. Like, you need to consider the additional costs here, and those are really common ones. There are plenty more. If you search costs you've forgotten to budget for, you'll find a full article on Hitched. And we've talked a lot about costs. We've talked a lot about budgeting, so it would be remiss of me if I went the whole episode without mentioning the Hitched Budget Planner. We have a really handy budget planning tool in our app. It's brilliant. It's available on desktop as well, but on the app you can plan on the go. You put in how much you want to spend on your wedding and it will suggest a breakdown. You can change this and adapt this to suit your needs. That's not me telling you how to spend your budget, but it's really handy for keeping track of things on the go and getting a rough idea of what you should be spending, because, you know, you might have a £50,000 budget, you might have a £5,000 budget, but whatever you put in, it will give you kind of a percentage breakdown so you can make sure it's attributed properly. It's really, really helpful.
So handy to have. I actually need to get one of those for my personal life.
Don't we all?
Thank you so much for joining us again. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and give us a rating.
A good rating, please, because we are very fragile and we thrive off positive reinforcement. And let us know in the comments, would you have a free bar at your wedding? Have you ever been to a wedding with a free bar? And what's the worst thing you've ever seen at a wedding from the result of a free bar? I want to know.